This has got to be the ultimate diecast car collection barn find. Oh my God, shut the holy crap, that is a lot of cars. All right guys, if you're into diecast model cars, you're gonna wanna stick around for this. I'm about to uncover a massive car collection that's been stored up there for nearly 20 years. I'm talking about hundreds of diecast cars that have been sitting there untouched until today. Hey guys, my name is Rick. Welcome back to the Model Car Vault. And so the story behind these cars is that, well, they were from my childhood collection. They were all displayed on shelves in my basement, gathering lots of dust, and yeah, I played with them too. But as time went on and I got a bit older, my dad, who was the one buying the cars for me most of the time, sadly passed away very young. And at that point, I was getting busy with school. I started my own company. I got married, moved out of the house. And as time went on, I developed different interests. And these cars, my collection, ended up in shoeboxes, packed and stored for now about 20 years. All right, you can't really see all the boxes because of all these other bins in the way, but we're gonna move everything to the side or take them down, and we're gonna get right back there because there's at least 100 boxes here, and they're not really marked. Most of them are unmarked. It's kind of like blind boxes at this point. Okay, so let's start with 3 old cars. Okay, well, at this point they're all old. This is a Barago Alfa Romeo. What was cool with these ones is I had that back seat that flips open. Oh, 1937 Ford convertible. All right. This is a Shelby Cobra Daytona. This is the 250 Testarossa from 1957. This one, I think the top comes off. Oh, look at that. When I was growing up collecting these cars, I didn't have a theme. Half of the time there were cars that I got as gifts, and half of the time, it was whatever we found a deal on. We used to go to flea markets, garage sales, used to buy them secondhand, wherever. And so it was just whatever we could find. That's a ton of motorcycles. I cannot wait to hear the comments on how these things got put in this box. 2 old cars and 1 pink caddy. Look at that. All right. This is a 57. 55. Is it 55? I feel like that's wrong. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. This one says 3 Lambos. Nice. This was made from Barago. Kind of reminds me of the Lamborghini in Cannonball Run. We've got cars from the late 90s. We've got I think this is a Shelby from 1999. This is a Porsche Carrera GT. We've got an Audi TT, the new T-Bird. I guess at the time this may have been even just a concept, but this was from Maisto. And I guess this was also a concept car for Mustang. Oh, this is an Aston Martin James Bond car. How do I know it's a James Bond car? Well, because there's guns coming out of the hood. So that's how you can tell it is a James Bond car. A lot of you might be wondering at this point why these cars were put in these boxes and why I didn't keep the original boxes. Well, I collected these when I was starting 8 years old. I didn't see them for their value or the fact that they were collectibles. I just didn't keep the boxes. And plus, it's my parents' house. As you can see, imagine I kept the boxes for 300 cars. Where would they have gone? Where would I have kept them? I was proud of the collection as it got bigger, and my father was definitely proud of it. And we like to have them on display. They were a conversation piece. People would come down to our basement, had them on these glass shelves over the bar, and they were a conversation piece. It wouldn't have been the same if they were in their boxes. So no boxes were kept. Maybe I kept a couple of them somewhere. I have no idea in the later years. Of course, that's different now. 1949 Mercury. Very nice yellow and a red one. Crazy about a Mercury. Okay, we got some 50s cars here. classic 57 Chevy, but this is the Nomad, early 60s Pontiac, Stingray, GT500, 65 Mustang. I don't know what happened to these ones. Very yellowed out, and it could be rust. I have no idea. It has definitely seen better days. Same thing, look at the discoloration and like kind of rust. This is really nice. I used to love Impalas. This one looks like a movie car. There are still a lot of boxes to go. There's like 5 rows behind this. So we got a lot to cover here. Got a BMW 850i. And this one I believe is a Maserati. Yeah. Man, oh, that just happened. Okay, well, this Mercedes needs some work. Okay, so back here we have, oh, this is interesting. This is the first time I see a box labeled fragile, because the other 100 boxes are not fragile. Oh, okay. It is probably Franklin Mint or Danbury Mint, actually. A very nice 57 Chevy. Oh, look at that. This Chevy, it's got a flat tire. We're gonna get you a tow truck in 1/24 scale. All right, got another box here. Well, this is a different box. Not like the others. Maybe it's from a later time, who knows? Very mysterious. No. We got a Jurassic Park Jeep. This is, I'm assuming 1/18 scale from Mattel. This is gonna be awesome in my movie car collection. I don't know if this is worth anything. I honestly don't see these. I haven't seen these online. I mean, Jurassic Park, I love that movie. So, I don't know what this is. Okay, this is a box of cigars. I don't know what it's doing here. Habanos. Okay. Let's see what's inside. Maybe Hot Wheels, I don't know. Okay. We have, looks like a invoice for a Danbury Mint car, dated 1993. $127. That's a lot of money for a model car back then. But what else do we have here? No way, no way. Oh my God, I can't believe I kept these. So back in the day, they used to have their little booklets with kind of like a catalog of all of the cars they used to have in their collection of that year. There was no internet then. We're talking 1994. How would you know what other cars they had in their collection? They had little booklets. But look at this one. This one's from 93. I don't know if you guys can see. 1993. So this dates back a long time ago. Got the Viper on the cover. We're gonna see what else is in here in a little bit too. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more boxes of cigars with model car catalogs inside. Because who knows what other kind of crazy things we're gonna find here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring all these boxes down to the living room. We're gonna open them there where I can be more comfortable, have a little bit more space, and we can get a little bit of a closer look on some of the cars with some better light too. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring all these down. Last box, out of breath, but I haven't opened one in a while, so I'm curious to see what's in this one. Let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. It's a few race cars. This is definitely a Ferrari and most likely a Schumacher when he was with Ferrari. This is from 2000, Hot Wheels. Pretty cool. I forgot that I have this. But even more interesting is this. So these were, I believe they were called Schuco Yeah, Schuco cars. This is a Lotus, Formula One car also. This was my dad's. I mean, this is from the 60s. You know, he used to collect a couple of cars when he was a kid, which is, I guess, the reason why he got me into collecting and he loved buying them. I do miss my collection, but seeing this reminds me how much I miss my dad. Let's get this into the living room. It's the last one. And we're going to continue opening some boxes and see if we unbox any more memories. So this is the last one, and the living room is full of boxes. There's about 100 boxes, which is crazy. Trans Am, 62 Bel Air, Porsche number 1, Porsche number 2, and Porsche number 3. All right, next on the block. Oh, some old trucks. Got a little bit of repair to do on this one. Another nice truck there. This is the Al Capone Cadillac. If you look closely, there's like a little hole in the window where they would shoot their Tommy guns from. And look at this, inside, Tommy gun. We got Capone's hat and some kind of a briefcase or money bag. This was a pretty cool car, and everything is so well detailed. So these are radio cars. You don't see them very often. These are kind of a speaker, I think. On here, see there's a dial. Here you have an on-off. Look at the discoloration on this one. So this shows lots of wear from the sun. Got a little 500 Fiat. Woody. There's another car from the Danbury Mint, and it's a 1/24 scale, but they are so heavy. There's real cloth inside the interior, real like rubber seats. A DeLorean, and look at that, there is missing a mirror. I don't know if maybe it's, oh, geez. Make that 2 mirrors. Alfa Romeo. Oh, nice. Pretty cool. Vintage BMW. So this is a McLaren F1. Special because, well, yes, the doors opened like this, but it was also really cool because it was a 3-seater. It had 1, 2, 3. The driver was in the middle. You know, the thing about storing die-cast cars in a garage for over 20 years is you're bound to find some bugs. In this case, found some Beetles. Got some vintage ones, convertible, and the newer one. Oh, nice. Dodge Charger Daytona. Look at that. Is this the Magnum PI Ferrari? No. This is the 328. Close. It resembles the Magnum PI Ferrari, which was the 308. I guess it came out over time, probably. Very nice. Need to get the red one. This is a 1948 Woody. This one's got a little luggage rack in the back. All right, so this is a cool concept car. Loved this. I remember getting it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Is this the Challenger from Vanishing Point? I have no idea. So Plymouth Roadrunner. Oh my God, shut the front door. The General Lee. You don't understand, this was my favorite show growing up, as I'm sure it was for a lot of you out there. This is such an iconic car. Unfortunately, you could see there's a couple of wipers missing. I think I could probably just grab a wiper from another Charger or probably some other Ertl muscle car. I don't think I would have paid more than $40 or $50 for this 20 years ago. Now, if you try to fetch a General Lee out there in the box, you're talking about $200, $300, $400, some even as high as $500 or $600. Anything General Lee, anything Dukes of Hazzard is worth a lot of money. The police cars. Now they didn't make everything. As a matter of fact, look what's in this box also. I probably had this in here because I was thinking maybe one day, if I was ever capable, I'd take this one apart, paint it white, and kind of put the little ornaments, and you got yourself a boss hog. So I still have a lot of boxes to go, but what I've been doing is, call me crazy, but I've been putting them all over the sofa and the living room floor. Just want to see everything all in one place so I can get a better sense of what I have, and then I could probably start doing some kind of inventory. So on this channel, I'll be doing a lot of reviews on diecast cars. Looks like I'm not going to have a shortage of diecast cars to review. A lot of 118s. I'd like to get around to doing all the scales. But yeah, let me know in the comments. If you see a car that I've been unboxing here, let me know if you'd like me to review it. But we've got to continue. Yeah, baby. Look at this one. I loved Austin Powers. All right, so this is the car that made a lot of kids fall in love with Lamborghini in the 90s. The iconic Lamborghini Diablo. Some really dusty SUVs. We got a Jeep. Got a BMW X5, one of the original ones. All right, we got some Corvettes. We got the VW bus. Check that out. Old Porsches, a red one and a yellow one. 54 Bel Air. More Franklin Mint and Danbury Mint cars. I have a lot more than I thought I'd have. 48 Ford, that's the car that Biff drove in Back to the Future. I hate manure. Guys, we're almost at the finish line. There's still another dozen or so boxes. Hopefully you're still with me. And if you are, it means that you're really enjoying this video. Then please hit that like button and subscribe, and you'll see more videos just like this. 300ZX. This is the Honda NSX. I've got a classic New York taxi. And look at this, a 57 Chevy Police Chief. So here's an example of a die-cast car that took a beating in the storage boxes. Missing headlights and the roof, which was removable. I don't know if I'm gonna put that back together. Well, this is an interesting Mercedes. Can anyone tell me what this is? I don't know, but I'd be interested in knowing. Okay, so where I'm from, which is Quebec, and I guess all throughout Canada, we have a store called Canadian Tire. And well, every year they used to make these commemorative anniversary trucks. So Canadian Tire trucks. Usually the old, like this one was, you know, from the 40s, 50s. Always red. So I used to collect a few of them. I just noticed this one had a lawnmower in it. Actually, this might even be a piggy bank. I mean, what do you guys think? You open up this and there's like a slot there. See that? I wonder if the other ones have that. Oh yeah, look at this. Another slot there. So I guess it's some sort of a piggy bank. Pretty cool. All right, so Barago back in the day made a lot of Ferraris, and I used to collect a lot of them, as I mentioned. One of my favorite Ferraris, as I'm sure is for a lot of people, is the classic F40. Beauty on four wheels. This one I actually used to play with a lot. I used to love playing with it. I mean, you can see there's some wear and tear. You got some scratches in a few places. But I mean, you know, as a kid, you know, these were my toys. I mean, honestly, I loved G.I. Joes. I loved Transformers. I used to have He-Man. I used to play with Legos. And, you know, I had Nintendo and all that stuff. I was an 80s kid, for sure. But when I got these cars, they couldn't just sit on the shelf. They couldn't just stay in a box. I mean, I had to play with them. I used to come up with scenarios. I used to do a lot of stop motion. I remember doing a video with this one of stop motion, I think changing a tire, and you know, you gotta have fun with them. And if you're watching, if you're a kid out there watching, or a grown-up kid, don't be afraid to play with them. So speaking of Barago and the Viper, we'll get back into the cigar box that we found. Let's look at this one, 1993. So they used to have all of their cars listed. So I have 93, 94, 95, up to 97. And I guess at some point the internet came out and they stopped making booklets. So I have Maisto. The logo was a bit different back then. They had more of a gold look. And yeah, so they had their 124s here and their 118s here. Take a look at that. Looking at these cars, I think I pretty much have most of these here as well. Kind of crazy. What else do we have? Oh, look at this, Solido. 1994 Solido. They had a lot of small cars too. These were 143, 150th. Pretty cool. So see, they would say that they've got suspension, they've got opening doors. You know, for people in those days that didn't have internet and didn't know anything about this, this is what you had to go by. I mean, this was your Bible for diecast cars, at least for this brand. So these are some cool keepsakes. I'll hold on to these. Got some other kind of cards here with some cars. Pretty cool. Guys, we're almost finished. I only have 6, 12, 14, about 15 or 16 boxes left to go. Cobra, this is the F50. The American Graffiti Impala, yellow, black, but I'm putting my money on red. I don't know if I want to go all the way on this one because I don't know what condition this top is in, but I think that's pretty cool. All right, who did orange better? I've got two Furies, one more furious than the other, but there's no Fury like Christine. This is one of my prized possessions, Elvis Presley's pink Cadillac. Oh, we got two amazing movie cars in here. You got the classic 89 Michael Keaton Batmobile. If you were a kid in the 80s or 90s, Batman was everything. The Ecto 1, Ghostbusters Ecto 1. This is, I think it's a 121 because this would be a little bit bigger than this if it was 118. And this is pretty good condition. Everything is intact. Ecto 1, back in business. All right, so we are pretty much done. We have just one more box to go through. It's a bit of a different box, a little bit bigger, so let's see what's inside it. Oh, okay. It is a 1/8 scale Franklin Mint 1886 Benz motor wagon. This was the first ever automobile that was put into production. It's an extremely extremely detailed model. It actually functions. I mean, the elastic, there's an elastic here. I don't know how old the elastic is, if it's gonna hold, but there's you can see there's like a crank, there's like a gear mechanism. Everything turns, the motor kind of turns. You got like a steering wheel. I think in those days you only went forward. I don't even know if there's any brakes on this thing, but yeah, pretty cool to be our last car tonight. Any guesses to how many cars this is? Well, the approximate final count is 400 cars in total. That's pretty crazy. I would say about at least 250 to 300 are 118, and about 100 or so are 124 or less. And there you have it. It's been a long day, a long trip down memory lane, reconnecting with all these cars. It's overwhelming to say the least, but I try not to look at it as a whole. I try to see each car for its own uniqueness, its own personality, the story behind each car. There's so much nostalgia, so much character in all of these cars. There is definitely a lot of memories here. But let me know in the comments, what would you do? Should I keep them? Should I display them? Should I pack them back into boxes? Should I sell them? That being said, if anyone wants to buy this whole collection, make me an offer. All right, so that's it for me. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll see some more follow-up videos and what happens to this collection, as well as many more reviews and a lot of other fun stuff we'll do with die-cast cars right here on the Model Car Vault. So now I just got to figure out what happens when my wife gets home.